Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Sunday, the 13th of July. Well, it was a profitable yesterday. I selected the John Smith Magnet Cup winner, Fox Legacy. I think it was 12 to 1 that I took. And I also tipped up the William Knight second selection in my bet. I think it won at 17 to 2. So in total, it was a very slightly profitable day. I think I about 35 on, and I think 40 something back, I think, something like that. So I'm just having to think. In fact, it was just over 30 on. So I won't be providing selections quite as often as what I do. So if I'm being honest, my mentality is I accept that probably most days I'm probably going to lose. What I do like selecting is horses that have an outside chance that can sneak a place. It's extremely unlikely we're going to back four winners in a lucky 15, five winners in a lucky 31, or six winners in a lucky 63. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to that day where we do get that bit of luck, I'm hoping where we can sneak horses into the frame at decent prices. There are no crazy prices today. I think every single horse has got a chance. You just need that little bit of luck. And I think if I'm by having a Goliath, I expect not to get my money back most days, but I won't be having a bet most days. I should be having a bet mainly Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday. So I'm going to talk you through the selections. Um, there are eight, so you can presume that I've forgotten about some of them, but I'm going to try and give you a heads up on them. What I do say is, if you're going to follow me in, make sure you've done your research on the selections. Don't just take my word for it. It's your money. It's not my money that you're playing with. So it's a 5 pence each way Goliath. It's £24.70. Today there's no singles. It's just a straight 5 pence each way Goliath. So the first selection is Battle of Omdurman. So I personally, I think the oh right, I've had to, I know what's happened. Just give me a second. I'm trying to make I tried to make my screen a little bit bigger so you could see the selections easier, but it's made it so I can't scroll. So let me just I'm gonna keep scrolling up until I can't. Right. In fact, I'm not going to be able to. So we're at 100%. I hope you can see the selections. So this horse, in my opinion, it's Battle of Omdurman in the 242 at Stratford. There are a lot of doubts over a lot of these horses. I think a lot of them are handicapped right up to the best. I think this horse will be prominent. It's got David Bass on board. I think it's got first time tongue strap, but it'll be running towards the front, and I think it'll be basically it'll be a come and get me. It's a poor race. I think there's a couple of fancied horses that I'm not convinced that they stay this trip. I think it's 2 mile 4 furlong. Sorry, it's 2 mile 2 furlong. I just think this horse. Um, it's a bit better handicapped than some of the others. It's about 7 to 1, I believe. The next selection is Sunshine and Roses in the 255 at Southwell. It's 14 to 1 and it's best odds guaranteed. This horse, the bloodline is basically, I think it's by Massart, which is a decent sire, but the dam is one that the connections know very well. I believe it's kind of homebred one, um, or at least they know the people that actually bred it. The dam is a prolific all-weather runner, not always a winner, but an all-weather runner. It has won several times, but um, it can handle the all-weather. Sunshine and Roses ran a decent race on its debut on the all-weather. Then it disappointed next time out on the turf. I think that this horse can be competitive in it's a race. I wouldn't say it's a poor race. It's a race where you haven't got too much information because there are first time. I think it's 3 year olds. It's either 2 or 3 year olds. I think it's 3 year olds. So there isn't a lot of form to go on, but I do think a Jack Shannon horse at 14 to 1 at Southwell is worth keeping on your side. It should be prominent, and it's a very hot day. So any kind of questions to be asked, I would always prefer a horse to have ran before. The next selection is the outside of the lot, actually. It's Jacana. It's 11 to 1. It's in the 8 minutes past 3 race at Perth. In a nutshell, it ran for the first time for a new trainer. So did the second favourite, Tommy Gunn. But Jacana beat Tommy Gunn. I think it was by something like a length. It wasn't a great deal. Well, Tommy Gunn is 7 to 2 second favourite. Jacana is 11 to 1 currently, outside of the lot. I just need it to continue its improvement or not fall below its recent resurgence in okayish form. I just want it to run its race. If it runs the same race as last time, I'd expect it to come in the first 3 out of 7. Sorry, out of 6 now. 50% 50% chance. You've got 11 to 1 on your side. It's a dreadful race, by the way. Um, I do believe there are a couple actually in this race that may struggle to see out the trip. It's only 2 mile 4, but so this is an interesting selection. It's by Tim Easterby, or trained by Tim Easterby. Handy Girl at 7 to 1. I've got best odds guaranteed in the 3:30 at Southwell. At Southwell, there's cracking prize money at stake. Tim Easterby is a northern trainer. The family are very well known, obviously, up north. They're very shrewd, and I think they aren't going to leave this kind of prize money behind when they regularly compete for 3 or 4 grand. I think it's either something like 7 or 11 grand to the winner. They aren't going to try and leave that money behind. Don't go wrong, all trainers are trying for that kind of money, but they're very shrewd, these to be, as you're well aware. Normally, they start the season quite slow and have a better season just as the sun really starts to shine. Well, to be honest, I've normally followed that. I haven't laid the horses at the beginning of the season, but they normally seem like they run like the tanks, as in like overweight. And as they run into form. Or as they continue to run, they run into form. However, for the last 2 seasons, the Easterbys have really hit the ground running. This is where they normally come alive. July and August. Well, to be fair, they've been on fire for the last couple of years, but so that's relatively irrelevant. All I'm saying is this horse, it has been progressing with each run. I think it was something like on the Racing Post ratings, it was something like 40 something, 60 something, and 72 its last run. It is progressing, and I think it could even just race prominently, and it could be a come and catch me basically. Speaking of coming and catching me, the next selection is Half Shot. It's also a decent price, about 7 to 1 in a 7 runner field. However, like most of the races, it's not best odds guaranteed. It's an extra place race. So with Sky Bet, many of these races, or the vast majority, apart from 2 of them, are extra place races. So it's Half Shot, about 7 to 1 in the 3:43 at Perth. I want this horse to go straight to the front. And then it's ran okay a number of times when it's run at Perth. A number of horses, some of the horses in this race have run at Perth and sometimes underperformed. I'm not saying they don't handle Perth. I just think get this horse out in front like it likes to be. Hopefully a nice easy lead. Nathan Moscrop on board instead of Brian Hughes. Hopefully they click. I do believe if it gets out in front, it could be difficult to catch. There are a number of times when it's weakened gradually. Well, hopefully it doesn't do that this time and it stays on, gets an easy lead, and it's a come and get me race, hopefully. Right, this is a tricky race, and I've got to go for the stable in form. Um, it's a very interesting horse. This is. It's called Statera or something like that. In the 5 past 4 at Southwell, it's got cracking form in places. It starts off, I believe, with a win over this course. Then, this is from memory now. Then it ran behind Kontiki and another horse in what looked like an average race, but it isn't. Kontiki has now gone on to be rated 100. The second horse in that race, which this horse was not beaten far by, it wasn't beaten far by either of those horses. I believe that horse is also rated 98 now. I think Stateri ran again, but then I'm trying to think exactly. Have a look for yourself. Stateri then most recently, that's it. It was favourite. Stateri was for a £26,000 Goodwood turf race, and it ran disappointingly. It was pestered for the lead and faded quickly. Then it had a day out, what I look like, what I think it looks like, a day out at Kempton because it was held up, not clear run, eye catcher, and those aren't my words; those are the Racing Post words. So I think, although it's drawn high, I've got to stick with this one because originally I was going to go for the Simon Crisford train horse, but I'm going to stick with this. I'm not a fan in the slightest of Nicola Curry. Nothing personal, but she never seems to ride. When I back her horses, a decent race, so generally I try and avoid them. But not saying she's a bad jockey. I'm just saying I never seem to time her right. She's rode winners in the past, but I just can never seem to time her right. But we'll see. The next selection is a Simon Crisford train horse, and it's Kitty Furnival in the 440 at Southwell. I believe it's got Southwell form. It's nothing to get too carried away with because I think it's something like second favourite. I think it's got an obvious chance, and Simon Crisford, as regulars of the channel will be aware, I'm a big fan of his horses. Right, the next selection is a trainer that I never seem to get right. So the horse is called Showering. It's in the 6:15 at Southwell, paying 4 places instead of 3. So you've got Mick Appleby. Is it Mick Appleby? Yeah, because I'm going confused with Charlie then. Yeah, you've got Mick Appleby, the champion all-weather trainer with a horse. He's drawn 1. Well, I'm convinced you don't need a low number. Um, for me, they either come down the middle or sometimes head towards the near side. This horse has drawn 11. So what I need to tell you about is a full brother to this horse called Brewing. Brewing, like I said, is a full brother to this horse, also trained by the same trainer, William Haggis. Brewing was head and shoulders a better horse on the all-weather than it was on the turf. Showering, I believe, has run twice on the all-weather, running very well, and has run twice on the turf, most recently running okay. It's now back to the all-weather, and I'm thinking, have they had this race in mind for a long time? Let's see how good it is on the all-weather. Right, we've seen how good it is on the all-weather. Right, let's try and pick a race for it. Hey, up, there's a race worth nearly 40 grand at Southwell. Well, we've got a horse that likes the all-weather. Let's run it. Let's keep it ticking over. Run it on the turf where we know it might not like it as much. It's not really. I don't think it's advanced its official rating on the turf, so it's kind of maintained its rating, but potentially it's better on the all-weather. So what we're going to do now, the money's come up, the big race has come up, 40 grand race at Southwell. This could well be the race they've been targeting. It's drawn 11, so therefore, if middle to high are fancied, it's got every chance. I think it's Tom Marquand on board. You would expect that with it being William Haggis. I'm pretty sure it's William. I'm pretty sure it's Tom Marquand on board. I tell you what, interesting thing. Quick question: was William Haggis ever a jockey? Be interesting. Anyway, Sharon potentially it's extremely well in. So I'm going to try and give you a selection where. So Sharon is kind of it's a bit like the Tokyo Joe of yesterday. Really fancied, but unfortunately it actually never ran. Well, hopefully Sharon wins. But Sharon is it's like a dark horse as well. Going through them again. So personally, I think dark horses at decent prices are Sunshine and Roses, Jacana, Honey Girl, and Statera. What's that? 4 horses that I'm just giving you. So you make your mind up. It's your money. Let me know if you fancy something different. Anyway, I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.